Okay, this is the fifth and final video in the introductory section to the tutorial on logarithms. And the question is, what are the laws or rules of logarithms? There are three of them. There's the product rule, the quotient rule, and the exponent rule. The product rule is saying that the log of a product is equal to the sum of the logs. The log of the quantity a times b is equal to the logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b. Take a close look at what is inside the parentheses. This is saying that the logarithm of a times b is equal to the logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b. And it is not saying the logarithm of a times the logarithm of b being equal to this. The quotient rule says that the logarithm of a quotient is equal to the difference of the logs. The logarithm of a divided by b is equal to the logarithm of a minus the logarithm of b. And the same interpretation with the product rule applies. Look closely at what is inside the parentheses. This expression is saying that the logarithm of a divided by b is equal to the logarithm of a minus the logarithm of b. Not to be misinterpreted with the logarithm of a divided by the logarithm of b. This expression is saying the logarithm of a divided by b is equal to the logarithm of a minus the logarithm of b. The exponent rule says that the logarithm of a number raised to an exponential value is equal to that exponential value times the logarithm of a. Simply take the exponent, put it in front of the expression, and multiply it times the logarithm of the original number. So those are the three rules of logarithms: the product rule, the quotient rule, and the exponent rule. The product rule is frequently described as saying the log of a product is equal to the sum of the logs, or the logarithm of the quantity a times b is equal to the logarithm of a plus the logarithm of b. The quotient rule is frequently described as the logarithm of a quotient is equal to the difference of the logarithms, meaning the logarithm of the quantity a divided by b, not the logarithm of a divided by the logarithm of b, is equal to the logarithm of the numerator minus the logarithm of the denominator. And the exponent rule is saying that the logarithm of a number raised to an exponential value is equal to that exponential value times the logarithm of the original number. You'll find these rules used frequently in solving problems with logarithms, such as pH, Richter scale, decibel scale, and some of the other problems that are discussed at length in this tutorial. So this video is the final video in the introductory section on logarithms. And what's been presented so far are definitions of what logarithms are, and an explanation of how logarithms are computed, and an explanation of what is Euler's constant, E, and the base E logarithm, also known as the natural log. And there was an explanation of four properties and three laws of logarithms. From here, the next step would be to go to the section on pH and solving problems involving logarithms with pH. At the beginning of that section is an explanation of what pH and autoionization are all about and why logarithms are used, followed by about half a dozen problems involving pH and how to use logarithms to solve problems with pH. That's followed by sections on the Richter scale, radioactive decay, carbon dating, the decibel scale, computing compound interest, and population growth. The topics are presented in that sequence because it seemed to make the most sense to me, and knowledge gained in one section is used and built on in solving the more complicated topics that follow. You're free to study any section you want in any order, but that would be the recommended sequence. So thank you for watching, and please proceed from here to the section on pH. Thank you.